screen share.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
thank you. Do I need to be granted, okay, permission or something? I need to be granted permission to share.
Okay, just a second. Okay, you can share, please.
Let's see. Okay. Now the technology seems to work. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I want to just to confirm if you see my slides.
Not yet. We can see a screen. I think that's your email, but not your slide. Yes.
That's interesting. Share the full screen. I'm not sure why.
Okay, we can see your screen now.
Okay, you see my slides, right? Confirm?
Yes, confirm.
I just changed now. Did it change from your side as well?
Yes, it's changing
Okay.
as you are also changing.
Okay, good. Hello everyone. Good to be here again. Sheung Ojedeji. I don't think I need to. Okay, anyway, this is this session, this program is for many people that may be having that are from different parts of Africa and probably beyond. So maybe a training will be required for how to pronounce my name. For Sarata, I've given up on her. I don't think she will be able to pronounce my name anytime soon. Let me just try to train the new ones. So to pronounce my name is pronounced Sheun. That's my first name, Sheun, and the surname is Ojedeji, Ojedeji. I'm from Africa. I'm from West Africa, from Nigeria specifically. So since the inception of this event, this program, I've been privileged to always attend. Sorry, my voice may be a little bit bumpy today because I'm in a time zone that is a little bit early for me. So thanks again for the introduction, Sarata. Good to be here as well, always. It's sad I'm not able to see faces this time around, but again, I'm very, very happy to be here. And when you asked me to come and share this again this year, I was like, I'm not really a fan of talking about myself, but again, since you asked me to do it again, I would be happy, and of course, I'm happy to always honor that. Thank you to everyone who is on the call. Thank you for the opportunity. Exploring the internet governance ecosystem. A brief history about myself. So the bio that Sarah read was probably the one for last year. At the moment, I'm no longer the chair of AfraLo. I'm not on the board of Afrinic. It's still probably beyond last year because I left Afrinic a couple of years ago. So I'm an IT professional with over 20 years, 2 decades in the industry. I'm currently a board member, a director of Public Interest Registry. So Public Interest Registry is the registry in charge of the top-level domain called .org. So when you see any organization using .org, the main registry, that's the TLD manager or administrators, so to speak, is Public Interest Registry. So I'm one of the directors of that organization. I'm one of the track leads at AFNOG. AFNOG has been some of you may know AFNOG, some of you may not, but I think a lot of you should know. AFNOG has been a very, very useful avenue for capacity building in Africa. I was one of the beneficiary of AFNOG in the early days, participating as a participant in the training, and of course, before I then also started contributing my own part by also serving as instructor and then track lead for network management and monitoring. I'm an engineer. I'm a network engineer by profession. I've worked with various universities across in Africa, Nigeria, and of course outside of Africa and North America. Some of the organizations that I have where I've served, I've listed them there. Within Afrinic, I've served as policy working group co-chair. The policy working group is where I will talk more about it in the course of my slides, but it's where we have a lot of policy discussions and which determines how the IP resource in Africa is managed. I serve as a board member as well at some point as vice chair of the board. I've been a member of ALAC, of course, been a leadership team member as well. I was non-commissioned delegate at ALAC.
Hello, Sheon. Your voice is very low. We can hardly hear you at this point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I don't think it's from my side though.
Yeah.
Do you hear me? I'm actually very loud.
Please give us a few seconds. Let's check. Okay, kindly speak and let's see if it's okay.
Okay. So this is checking again. Mic check, sound check.
Sound check is clear.
Okay, good. Now I hope I have not I hope this didn't happen much earlier. So for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say that these are some of the roles that I've served in the past, and since considering the subject of this presentation, you would you might notice that I'm a technical person, and one way or the other, I'm still involved in uh, internet governance related organizations. And I'm just going to journey through some of them with a few slides of mine. Uh, there is no video of the room. Otherwise, I would have loved to hear from the audience if there are techies in the room. Do we have techies in the room
Okay.
this time around?
Yes, I think, yes, we do have some.
Oh,
So
okay,
hold
good.
on, hold on. Hello? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just something to check, but again, it's this session I hope it will be useful for even the non-techies as well. The main thing is for you to know that IGF is internet governance is broad than you may have imagined it, and of course, it really just depends on what you want to get involved in. All right. Now let's delve into it. What is IG? I mean, when I first started participating in IG, I used to attend IGF. Uh, there are many IGFs now. There are regional IGFs now. There are even national IGF. But the main one, which is the global one, is the one that I mean that's the one that all every other IGF spun out from. So I used to just think, okay, IG is probably just IGF, but it's not over the time. IGF is just part of, or so to speak, one of the aspects or the bodies that make internet governance a whole. So by definition, IGF is the IG is the collaborative management and oversight of Internet's technical infrastructure, policies and standards by diverse stakeholders to ensure a stable, secure, and open operation globally. I have intentionally put in bold, highlighted collaborative management and diverse stakeholders for a reason and for the sake of this session. It's important for us to know that it is the multi-stakeholder nature, it is the diversity of stakeholders, it is the fact that we collaborate from different part of the world. That is what makes internet governance what it is. That is what makes the internet itself stable, secure, and open globally. That is what makes it familiar to us, if I might use that word. That is what makes it a thing of interest, a thing that we can all use and utilize, is because of the richness in the diversity of those that contribute to it. So how do you contribute to it? These are some of my journeys, the various places that the organizations that have helped me during my journey in the last 20 years to get involved in my career, of course, in my in the internet governance space. And you probably note that some of them are not even internet governance exactly per se. FOSFA, for instance, when I was Free Software Open Source for Africa uh, is a force-based organization. It's a software kind of based organization. But again, what we do also span beyond that because some of the activities has to do with the internet. And so things like internet governance, discussions like that also come on those groups. And that's one of the places where I even learned about some of the early IGF event and of course the various places that one can get involved in when it comes to IGF specifically. NSRC is one of the other organizations that's helped me in terms of the technical aspect for training, capacity building. NSRC is based in Oregon, but they kind of partner with a lot of organizations across the world and partner with AFNOG in terms of helping and supporting with training and capacity building of engineers and of course techies in Africa. The journey of Afrinic. So when I started, I got involved around 2009 with Afrinic, and you see, one of the things that you need to, for those of you who are probably considering how do I get started? I mean, let's remove the perspective, the understanding if you have it that now we know that IGF is not the only thing about internet governance. It's just one of it. So Afrinic, for instance, is one of the internet governance space where you can thrive, where you can participate. I started my journey in 2009, and what did I do? I just subscribed to the mailing list and was just following. I mean, you can just decide that, okay, I just want to follow what is the discussion that are happening, what is the, and you may decide that, okay, you don't want to even say anything for now and just observe and see how, read out people, but you have to be intentional about it. You have to dedicate time to it. Okay, I mean, I can tell you it is time consuming. My colleague, I'm not sure, I hope Raymond is in the room. He will tell you also, to Sarata as well, they will tell you that participating in IG, participating in multi-stakeholder environment is time consuming, and at times it could even be disappointing, especially if you feel that your own contributions were not taken or things like that. But again, that is the essence of the diversity. That is the essence of the multi-stakeholderism. The views of many will be put down, and then everybody would discuss and agree on some of them that can be taken to form to address the particular matter. So I started participating by just subscribing. Okay, I subscribed to the list. I started observing. I started just whatever people were saying. At times I would search about it outside of the mailing list. And when I had the opportunity to attend AFNOG, I would meet some of the people face to face, ask questions. Then I started contributing. Okay, so again, you don't have to go my route. You can even just start contributing straight away once you decide that you want to get involved. But again, this is just my own approach, and it worked for me. As you continue to participate, you will just notice that people will start to notice your name. Okay, your name will ring a bell. I mean, they may not know you personally, but because you have been participating, people would remember that name, that, oh, this person, this name sounds familiar. And then they could dig you up on the list, from the archives, and then say, oh, this person has been participating. And that was how I got selected, and of course elected. I got nominated and elected for the policy development working group. At that time, there was a colleague's term, I think, that was expiring, and I was to fill that slot, and I was nominated. I think it was Alambare's time that was expiring, and I was nominated to serve in that role, and went for a second term as well, and was re-elected. And it was a fantastic time to serve as co-chair of Policy Development Working Group, working with the Policy Development Working Group for Africa is chaired by two persons. So the two people are the ones that kind of manage and, of course, try to, as much as possible, to gauge consensus amongst the on various policy discussions that are happening, and they kind of coordinate the policy development working group. And from there, I served as on the board up to 2022. So what is the role of policy development working group? I've mentioned one of them, which is to determine consensus. Well, these are some of the other roles: public minutes, initiate last call, and of course, send. Once the last call for a particular proposal is passed, this is a summary. It's just a summary explanation of the process. Once a policy proposal passes last call, a summary report is going to be prepared and will be sent to the directors for their approval, consideration and approval. Usually, policies that pass through the community are approved by the board. So long, it's very rare for the board to say no. But again, it doesn't mean that the board can say no to that policy, but there are process for that as well. This is, let me pause here and say this. Afrinic is at the moment is going through a lot of challenges. Okay, going through governance related challenges. Some of you may be aware. At the moment, Afrinic does not have a current board, and at the moment they do not have a CEO as well. So there's a process ongoing to have those restored, but again, this is my own journey, and of course, the policy development working group aspect of Afrinic and every other thing about Afrinic is going to be kickstarting very soon back once we pass the order of the governance issues. And I expect that all the things I'm talking about is something you can also experience once Afrinic, because Afrinic comes back to governance issues are resolved. But again, it doesn't stop you from subscribing. The mailing list is open. The policy discussion working group is open. You can subscribe to it. Discussions are happening there. The problem is just that because there is no board, and you will see in this step that a policy needs to get to the board for approval if the policy passes last call. So there's even no board to do that. And so that is the reason why policies are not being, there's really no policy that is being passed at the moment. But that mailing list is still open, and you can subscribe to it if you want to follow what is happening at Afrinic. So this is one of the times that I was elected as a policy working group chair, and the other person is my colleague. We work together as co-chairs, and this is one of the Afrinic events. I think this was in Tunisia, where we chair the policy working group. I can't remember what year is this. I think it was maybe it was 2015 or so. I think it was 2015. Yes. So that's 10 years ago. Time flies. For the board, Afrinic board, these are some of the information about Afrinic board. We have the board has 9 members, and of course, 8 of them are elected. And the ninth person is the CEO, and of course, these are some of the roles of board within the Afrinic environment. Let me say this. I'm sharing all this with you because this is my journey, right? These are the some of the organizations where I've served and the roles that I play, and that is the reason why I'm sharing all this with you. But again, I just want to note that you don't necessarily have to be on the board, or you don't need to be a board member. I don't even need to be a policy development working group coach here in the case of Afrinic to participate, to be impactful. You don't need to be in those leadership positions to be impactful. I mean, let's just face it. There can only just be a few that will be in those leadership positions because the seats are just a few. But we need so many people. I mean, people that are even more active are the ones that are actually not in these leadership positions, because at times leadership positions can also even be a burden for you not to participate in the way that you probably want, especially when it comes to being very careful about what you say and things like that. So feel free, while it's good to also aspire to be in leadership roles, it's very important to start from participating as a normal member. That is how I started. These other things I'm showing you in terms of the various leadership roles I was in and what those roles are about is just to motivate you, to kind of help you see that, okay, when you participate, there's a chance that somebody may notice you. There's a chance that you may also decide that you want to increase your responsibility and, of course, your burden, because it's also a burden, to go into those leadership roles and then serve more. But again, it's not really a requirement per se. One of the times that, because I served on the Afrinic board for 3 terms, so this is one of the times that I think it was my first term when I was somebody, a friend of ours on the from my sock, Jan, took my picture before the result was counted, and that was the first picture on the right you see. I was waiting patiently for the results, and then he took my picture after congratulating me, and you can see the smile there. So that was it was just fun to see. I mean, this was on social media where he posted it. I just thought I should just add the screenshot for you to see. So I mean, it's a community thing, and it's just fun to see how those discussions happen, and how people are elected, and how diverse, as you can see from that place. You can see how many people were there in front. All those who were in front in this picture, we are all board candidates, and of course, community would elect members would elect those that they want on the board. So it's really a journey, and you may also notice that at that time I probably was one of the youngest on the board at that time, which is also to encourage us and to let us know that it is not you don't have to be, participation does not, age should not be a limitation for you. Whether you are young, whether you are old, whether you are, everybody has a space to participate. You just have to be interested. I mean, once you're interested and you feel motivated to do so, and just be consistent about it. Consistency is very important. I'm going to also talk more about consistency and focus later in this slide. I just want to show you, I just want to point to a particular picture here. Looking for my pointer. Do I have pointer on this thing? Okay, I can't see. Okay. Total. This should have a pointer. Okay, so what I would just what I wanted to show you is you would see on the mic. On the mic, you see myself, Alelina, and you will see that old man at the back. Those are our pillars. So that is kind of a generation. That line, even though it was not planned. All of us just happened to be on the line, on the queue, to make contribution for on a particular topic of discussion at Afrinic at that time. It was not planned. It was just a coincidence that my generation, Ale Naina is a different generation before me, and then the old man at the back, Professor Ne, which we all know, the father of internet in Africa, is the older generation. So you can see that generation representation is kind of also presented in this environment. So there is some level of the old, the young, the media, the youth participating. So it's also a source of support, because the experience of the old would also help to enrich the discussion. Okay, the ideas or the new ideas of the young would also help improve whatever it is that is happening, that is existing within the space. So generational thinking is very important. Try as much as possible, if you want to get involved, not to feel like you are too young or you are too old to participate. Please just go ahead and do the participation. If you want to use the mic, go ahead and use the mic. If it's an avenue whereby you can, there's a mic like this one that is on the queue, go ahead and use the mic, so long as you have some contributions to make. I used to also say that there was a time that I went to read some of the things I've posted in my early days in Afrinic, in other spaces, and I'm wondering, why did I post this? But at that point, at the time of me posting it, it made sense. So, but because I have more experience, more understanding, then I'm asking myself, why did I post that? But again, when I posted it that time, it made sense. So don't also try to be too don't be too how do I put it, judgmental, or don't probe. Well, I'm not saying that you should post rubbish. I'm not saying that you should post something that does not make sense. But again, don't process your message too much. Don't critique it. Don't over critique it. Just once you read it and you think that it's going to add to the topic of discussion, just send it. Just share the idea. You never can tell. It could be it could eventually be the deal breaker on the particular topic that is of discussion. So these are some of the board colleagues in Afrinic when I was a member of the board, and Afrinic also does participate with other IRs, other sister IRs around the world. This is one of the meetings where we participated with with one of the other IRs. This regional internet registry in the world. And for my ICANN journey, the journey for ICANN started in 2012. I served as the member of the INA stewardship transition in 2014 to 2015, and then with ELAC from 2015 to 2019, with chair of AFRALO 2019 to 2023, and then non-com delegates from 2023 to 2024. Currently, I'm just serving as a member of the fellowship committee, those that are involved in the selection of fellows. But again, this journey is just to show you that if you want, even when you start participating, you would also see, like I said, I started following ICANN from around 2012. I didn't just go into leadership position straight up. I started following what is happening at ICANN, started to get involved, understand what is happening, and coincidentally, the time I started getting involved with ICANN was when the IANA stewardship transition was also coming up. But what is IANA stewardship transition? This is the role of NTIA in the US. So US was previously the administrator of IANA. They are kind of the steward of ICANN, kind of making sure that ICANN is not doing anything beyond extraordinary, as in not doing anything bad in quotes, making sure that ICANN is operating and, of course, doing its mission, especially. So there is a section. This is in the process of for IANA, there is a role that the US government, represented by NTIA, play when it comes to approvals, when it comes to certain processes of IANA. And that power was relinquished this in 2015 when it was transitioned. So it was transitioned to the community, to ICANN. So ICANN now is a multi-stakeholder community. They are the ones, IANA also is now called PTI, and it stands alone, even though it's also subsidiary of ICANN, and with oversight as well. So has his own board from the community, and things are working fine. So these are the roles that I served in. I participate in various discussions there. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to start with as a leader in a place. You can just start participating. You can even start observing. It takes time. I should mention, it takes a lot of time, especially for ICANN. ICANN is so big. It's much more bigger than, of course, our African community. So you would see a lot of people, and then you may be a little bit confused about where to start from or how to get involved. But I'm sure this program that you attended would have been an eye-opener for you. From the agenda, I can see that there are quite a number of topics that you've already done, and there's still more that you will do. So this will expose you and to probably also help you to navigate how to get involved. But again, this is my own journey, and this is how I approached mine by kind of participating first before I then started getting noticed, and then serving in leadership roles. And the thing is that the thing about these roles that I've served is that people just come to me and tell me, "Oh, this particular position is going to be open. Would you consider submitting yourself, or would you consider serving in these roles?" That is how most of these roles came to being, because people just approached me. It is when I'm in the role that I can then say, okay, maybe I should go for a second time. At times, some people would even approach me and say, "Oh, you want to go for second time?" Or I was also ask some members or some critical people that, okay, do you think I should go for second time? Those are some of the things that that's some of the things that helped me to navigate the space. But again, my role in ICANN now, I'm see that's the good thing about it. Even when you finish in a major leadership role, you can continue to participate as a member. I'm just right now, I will just consider myself as a member, participating whenever I have the time to do so, and of course, using my spare time as well to serve as a member of the selection committee for fellowship. It's a huge community, as I've said. This is just the one for fellows. One of the fellowship pictures that I think this was ICANN 51. ICANN is 84 now. Okay, the last one was 83, I think. This is probably ICANN 51. So there's been a lot of, and then the one down here was in Marrakesh. This one is ICANN 51, likely. And this one down here was in Marrakesh, ICANN 55. So lots of ICANN meetings I've held. I've been privileged to attend quite a number of them, basically as a fellow or as a leader within one of the organizations that I've mentioned. You would meet people, you would have the opportunity to connect with people, even beyond ICANN itself role. You have the opportunity to meet different people, to kind of share other things that could be of help to you, especially your career or even your line of development. So as a techie, this space is maybe a little bit strange to you if you want to just say, okay, yeah, techie, no, but there are things that your techie experience could be useful. You could become useful when certain discussions are happening in this space, because there are discussions that require a technical understanding of how the internet works or how a particular program protocol works or how a particular service works. If you have such experience, you will be able to contribute in a more meaningful manner that will help the community in that group to progress in the topic of discussion. Some more pictures. So this was when I started getting involved in ICANN. The one down here is me with the CEO, Fadi Charadi. He was a great man. This was ICANN 49 when in Singapore. So lots of things have happened beyond since my involvement with ICANN, and it's been a fantastic journey. I would definitely recommend you that you try as much as possible to get involved. And this is just two of the organizations that I'm involved in. Like I said, IG is not equal to IGF. IGF is one of the space. ICANN is one of the space. Afrinic is one of the space. IETF is one of the space. The national IGFs are one of the space. The national-based policy, maybe of your CCTLD spaces, they are one of the space. So the space is huge, okay? And you also need to face the reality. You cannot be everywhere. I mean, it's just practical. And when I started getting myself involved in ICANN or in all these things, I started when I was single. I wasn't married at that time. So if you are in the room and you are still young, still very young, not yet, you don't have much baggage, because when you get married, then you have more baggage. When you have kids, you have more baggage. 20 years ago, I wasn't, so it gave me the opportunity to at least to have all of my time to myself. I mean, responsibility were not so much, so I could spend more time on this. But as time goes on, your time becomes scarce. It becomes limited. But because you have gathered those experiences, your limited time will now be used more to contribute in a meaningful way. So it's very important that in the earliest time, try as much as possible to participate, because that time you have more time to learn. You have more time to learn and to even say some things that are not even necessarily correct because of your understanding. But as time goes on, as you grow, responsibilities also will grow. And again, but because you have spent so much time preparing, you now have more understanding. The way you participate in those forums would be more effective and, of course, will be more efficient. A few lessons that I want to just share with us, even though I've been mentioning a couple of them as we proceeded in these slides. Yeah, it's very, very, IG is a very, very large space and it accommodates all. I'm sure there are some of the people here who have been selected as fellows to ICANN in the past. And maybe there are even people who have been selected as next gen fellow, probably. But again, you would note that your selection did not just happen. It's because maybe you've started participating or maybe one way or the other, your name was what you wrote, you committed to kind of improve your participation. You showed enthusiasm. You showed understanding in your application, and that was why you were selected. And perhaps you also use references like that you've been involved with the EGIGFA. I understand that. I mean, when I was chair of Afralo, I used to notice that quite a number of EGIGFA people are actually participating in Afralo discussions, and it's not a surprise that some of them are also making it on the fellowship list. Well, congratulations to everyone that is involved in getting this program running back to back. It's not easy. All right, so it's like I said, it's not possible to be everywhere in the agri ecosystem. Identify places that you want to be. I've told you some of them. Some of those places, for instance, the IGF, I can't even, it's been a while since I attended IGF because there's just a lot of things that is competing for the time. So you have to just plan it and then make sure that it is the one that you can attend. You can be consistent about that you try to go on with. For techies, for instance, it's easier for you to participate in Afrinic, for instance, because it's a technical environment. The discussions are probably things that you can easily flow with, and of course, you can easily also identify with if you are a techie. It doesn't mean that non-techies can participate. Non-techies are also welcome to participate. I'm just saying this just as a recommendation. Of course, ICANN as well. They have various community or stakeholder group within ICANN where you can also participate as a techie or non-techie alike. ITF is there as well if you want to get involved in protocols. So there is the ICANN is names and numbers. There is also another, so there are three technical identifiers. There is the name, there is the numbers, which is the IP address. The name is the domain name, the TLD, and then there is the protocol. That is the rules or the I can call it the rules or the policies that surrounds the operation of the internet. That's the policies that surrounds it when it comes to manufacturers trying to make sure that their software is compliant or is compliant with certain protocols and things like that. ITF as the ones that makes internet protocols. So you can decide that you want to be involved in that. There are other ones as well, like triple A and so on and so forth. But these are some of the things that some of the spaces that you can get involved in. And like I said earlier, it's very important that you try as much as possible to observe and learn about the community. All my journey, all the places I've been involved in, I try as much as possible to first observe by getting in. By the time you subscribe to the list, you have already started getting involved. Okay, then you just observe, look at the discussion. If you see any name that is coming up often on that list, try to, if you happen to know the person, or even if you don't know the person, try to write the person if you have a question. If you are feeling a little bit shy to post on the list initially, try to write a DM, a private message to anybody that is within the community that you see his name coming up, and ask your question. People are usually open and ready to help and listen to any of your contributions or concerns that you may have. But ultimately, when you observe, don't just stay in the observe mode. It is very important. Don't stay in the observe mode. We should not be in the observation mode into infinity. Okay? At some point in time, you need to start participating. Participation is key. It's just not enough that you stay in the observing mode. Okay? It is when you participate, that is when you get noticed. It is when you participate, that is when you are actually, when you participate, that's when you contribute something. That's when you're actually contributing to developing the fate of IG governance, internet governance in the world. It is when you post something, that is when your views will be known and will be heard. If you don't post anything, if you don't drop any message, your views won't be known if you are just observing. So observing is good for initially, just for you to learn, to understand the community, but at some point in time, you need to start contributing. Don't just observe for the sake of it. And as I mentioned earlier, post the message once it makes sense to you. Once you read your message and it makes sense to you, post away. Don't be scared of, will they say my message, my contribution is minor or is major or is not even necessary. Don't be worried about that. Just post the message. So long as it's on the topic, post the message on the topic. And if you want, you may also decide to run your messages through maybe somebody who is also older in the community, who is more experienced, just for you to get a sense of his opinion. But I don't even think that is necessary. But again, some people may prefer that approach. But for me, what I always do is that once I see a discussion that is of interest to me, I just post away and I just participate by posting my messages the way I understand it. Okay, and it doesn't mean that you should just be posting anything, but again, try to do your research, observe, and then you'll be able to make a more meaningful contribution as time goes on. Like I mentioned earlier, we get noticed when we participate in Afrinic, in ICANN, in some of these spaces, all these various spaces, we get noticed, and eventually you get appreciated for your contribution. I think this is one of such moments where the community leaders were appreciated by ICANN. You can see myself and Raymond in this picture. It is just a good thing. It's a good thing to look back and then say that, some of our contributions have been appreciated, not just within Africa, but globally. I've taken so much time to talk. It's already top of the hour. I would be happy to take questions if there are any, and I will hand it now to Sarata. Thank you for being patient to listen to me. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So let's take questions. Questions, please.
There are no questions. It's maybe
Oh,
the session was too boring, either boring or the session was too clear.
But there's a question coming up.
Okay.
Well, mine is not a question. It's,
Yeah, sure.
it's an appreciation. I will say, as we will say it back home, Eshegoni, Adupe. I hope you can hear me. No.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Eshegoni, my name is Olabimpe Adeloro, and I would say your session really inspired me. I like your journey. Your journey is not like the regular Nigerian guy journey. You know, we could be very aggressive in the way we go about things. I mean, it's not it's not negative. It's just that we have this swag of doing it gra in a way. So I love the way you took it gradually, taking in the environment, and I think that will be very helpful because with this few weeks that we've been introduced to this journey, I can say, to say the least, it's been like very overwhelming. Sometimes you get confused. So where do you start? So I like the fact that if you are too shy to kick off, like dive into the ocean, just take it easy, observe, and you can take it on and on like that. And I would say I'm proud of you. I'm the only Nigerian in the room, and listening to you, yes, the only Nigerian in the room. I traveled down purposely because of this in-person part of the training. So I'm inspired, and if you do mentorship, I think you have a mentee here, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And Carson, I think it should be Carol is still morning there. So thank you very much for those comments. And yeah, I mean, you would also notice that I mean, for my participation, I also I did not even mention that I also get involved in Nigeria NGNOG activities as well. So participating locally, participating globally, at times you may even notice that it's even faster and easier for you to participate at a global level or as a regional level than at a local level at times. But again, it just depends on what works with you, what works in your environment. Just try as much as possible to get involved, and of course, slow and steady wins the race. Eventually, things would come to shape as time goes on.
Sorry for cutting. Thank you for mentioning participating locally. And I've been making some research, and I don't know why I'm not just finding myself in Nigerian space. Each time I check, it's the ICANN, the other part of ICANN that keep popping up, you know, ICANN for accountants. I'm sure you will understand that.
Okay. Yeah, so in the Nigeria, so Nigeria space, so when it comes to ICANN, the space in Nigeria would be the the equivalent of it, not necessarily it's not ICANN per se, but the equivalent of it is the NERA.
Do you
So
mind
NERA
spelling
is the
that?
equivalent of is the manager of our country code CCTLD. So NERA is the space, but again, we also have a small group that we create for ICANN related discussion in Nigeria, because at times before the meeting of ICANN, we try as much as possible to meet together remotely, virtually, to kind of for those who are attending ICANN meeting, to discuss and see what are the topics that of interest and things like that. Some of my colleagues try to organize such meetings. So, but those people, but that is just for ICANN. There is also IGF that runs in Nigeria, NIGF, Nigeria Internet Governance Forum. It runs annually. I think the next one is going to happen very soon. I would look for the maybe you can the organizers of Megikfa can give you my email, or then you can mail me. I can send you the link to it, so you can actually try as much as possible to attend that one. If you attend that one, I'm sure you would see a lot of people there that you would that would also guide you, and of course show you the other things that other ways you can get involved. Yeah, but NERA is a place that you may want to get involved in, especially if you have a domain name. Thank you.
Do you mind spelling NERA, please?
See what?
N-I.
I didn't hear that.
I was asking for the spelling of NERA, but I got help here. Eshegani, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
NIRA, NERA.
Next question. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, my name is Jonas. I think you have a very interesting journey. And particularly when you said you started in 2009, but it looks like you actually started getting more and more active in 2011. So I guess my question would be, for those of us that are new into the IG space, how long did it take you to sort of find your feet or find your balance? Because like already established, it's a lot of things in the IG space, and you can get carried away sometimes. And I'm sure a number of people here, just like myself, will probably have one or two things that are jumping at them that are of interest to them. So how were you able to find your balance, and what are some of the things that helped you along the way?
Okay. So finding my balance in some forums is easy, in other fora is not. In the fora of Afrinic, it was easier because it's technical. So quite a number of the discussions were familiar because I'm a network engineer by background. So it was a bit easy for me to flow in that environment. But for ICANN, it's more diverse. It's so there are various stakeholders. There are lots of so there is the ELAC, there is the NCSG, there is the GNSO, which comprises of many other groups, including the NCSG, NCUC. There is the GAC, there is the SAC, SSAC, there is the CCNSO. So there are various stakeholders, and of course there is the ASO as well, which is for numbers in ICANN. So there are various stakeholders, and then it now depends on which one you want to get involved with. Normally, as an individual, I would say I try to go to each of those sessions. So my first involvement in ICANN, I try to go to all those sessions, the sessions that each of those people those groups are organizing. I just went through to all of them. I mean, not, of course, you can't attend all of them concurrently, but you have to. I just went to all of them alternately, just to have an idea of what they are doing, and then also to understand their processes. Then it was after a while, then it was easier for me to then streamline what is my interest, how can I get involved more. Then I realized that ELAC is something that is more for individuals. There is either the NCUC or ELAC. So I joined the NCUC. I also joined the ELAC because those are the two things that kind of is easier for me to get involved with, and I remain focused on it. So the way I was able to get my my grip fast was to remain focused on certain community. So I told you that initially I went to all those other groups, activities or sessions, but once I chose my focus, I remained within that organization, that group. Yes, I would go to those other sessions, but when I'm going to all those other sessions, it is when they have topics that relate to the discussions that is happening at ELAC, or topics that can help me be better informed to better contribute at ELAC. So my focus now was ELAC. Even though I was even on SUC, I was not able to, because some of the SUC activities were also happening in parallel with ELAC. I was not able to do more of SUC. So focusing on one community, especially when it comes to ICANN, helps me. Also focusing on a few of the forums. You cannot go to all of them. I mean, it's not practical. Like I said, it's a long time I attended the IGF, because there are other activities, there are other events, there are other sessions that I need to attend to. So you also need to choose, okay, do I want to be more effective at IGF, or do I want to be more effective at ICANN, or do I want to be more effective at Afrinic, or whether it's the national IGF? You just have to choose some of them. You cannot be effective in all of them. Thank you.
Okay, I think. Good morning. My name is Frank Akudugu. I think I wanted to ask a similar question, because in pursuing, they always say accuracy in pursuit is more important than speed. So for now, we're introduced so many of them, which you might be tempted to sign up for the mailing list and following up. So I wanted to ask how we're able to navigate and finally choose one that you focus on and give your input to make an impact and show that visibility. But I think answering my colleague's question, you've highlighted on those things. So thank you so much for all the insights.
Thank you. There are also some questions in the chat.
Yes.
Should I go ahead and look at them, or would you?
I'll read it out. So let's take one other question. He's already answered. Okay, so let me just read it for you. So any other question? Okay. So we have a lawyer who is asking that what's the best community to participate in to ensure that she's not everywhere, being that the community is large. So she's a lawyer. She wants to know specifically which areas would be best for her, so she can focus there.
Okay. So I want to assume she's probably referring to ICANN, or is she referring to some other space? Okay, so if it is ICANN, so this is just my own recommendation. I would suggest that you start with ELAC at large. AFRALO is the RALO, Regional At-Large Organization, that is in charge of that. So get involved with AFRALO, okay? And of course, you may also want to consider joining the NCSG as well, non-commercial stakeholder group. But there is, as a lawyer, there is also a group in ICANN called IPC. I think it's Intellectual Property Constituency or something like that. So you may also want to consider that. So these are three things. I know lawyers in at large who are involved more in at large than IPC, because I also understand, I'm not a lawyer, but I know that law has different fields and areas. So you may get involved, you may observe what they are doing in IPC, observe what they are doing in ELAC, and observe what they are doing in NCSG. Observe those three, and then eventually, as time goes on, you can choose your tent. but you can go through all those three sessions and three communities, and then after it, you can then decide which one you want to go through. I can only give you that broad, slightly broad scope, so that you can then eventually choose what works for you more. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. There's another one that says, what will be your message to women to be intentional in participating in internet governance discourse?
Good point. The thing is, that is a very good question. There was a time I was on the board of Afrinic, and we do not have women. It was just all men, and I used to get these comments from women that why you guys are not allowing women to join, to participate, and it's really a concern because the space is open. The space is open for everyone, and I just want our women and our ladies and our girls to feel free to participate, to feel free to get involved, to feel free to engage, because we need women to be involved in these things. At times, we guys can be too hardcore in things, but women, when they come into the space, they kind of have other perspective that soften things and makes things much more makes it easy to flow with some of the discussions. We do have women participating in ICANN. Eventually, we got a woman on Afrinic board, but after a while, we also lost her again. But again, we need women to participate. I would encourage women who are considering getting involved in IG related environment to please do so. If it's ICANN, I would always say at large is the easiest to get started with. NCUC is also there. NCSG is there. These are the easiest to get started with, and especially in terms of when they say things on the discussion which could make sense to you. So those places like at large are places that the things that they say would kind of resonate with you, and women are very much welcome to participate. So I would just encourage women to please don't leave it to us alone. Don't leave it to the guys alone. Please get involved. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and I believe we've heard that. Then there's another question. I'm a supply chain personnel. How do I specifically choose areas as a new entrant? It seems there is more and more, and it favors the technical. How can I, a supply chain professional, really be effective?
Okay, so the thing is that we all use the internet, okay? And yes, even though some of the discussions that are being made there, they might be technical. I mean, they are definitely technical, not that they might be technical. There are also discussions that are not necessarily technical. And for instance, not just that marketing at large alone, especially when it comes to ICANN, at large is one that can, they try as much as possible to break down technical topics to normal layman discussion, so that you would kind of understand it as much as possible. So, and there are discussions that are not necessarily technical, like DNS abuse, like universal acceptance and things like that. There are technical aspects of it, but there are non-technical aspects of those discussions as well. So you can indeed participate in those non-technical discussions. And like I said, at large, NCSG for ICANN is the best place to start from. For Afrinic, just subscribe on the RPD mailing list remains where you can subscribe to for those various discussions. But again, it may be too technical for you if you want, but again, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't subscribe to it. Just just observe. And at times we do have non-technical discussions. In another community that was created, there is another mailing list that was created for AFRINIC. It's for general discussion, not necessarily for policy technical discussions. You can also consider to subscribe to that as well. If you go to the AFRINIC website, you should be able to find those non-technical mailing list discussion for general discussions. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So there's another question. Would you ever advise there should be a committee or platform that welcomes the inputs and views of children in ICANN or participates in internet governance, especially with a growing trend of children being online?
Okay, thank you for that. ICANN does have what they call next gen. Next gen is the younger ones. I wouldn't call them children though. It's the younger ones, and so that is already existing. I mean, the next gen aspect is already existing. But the children aspect, that's a new idea. I know that ICANN does support people to come with theirs. Does make provision for people during their face-to-face meetings. They make provision for people who are coming with their kids. But to get kids' perspective on internet governance, it may be a process, because you know that it's also important that the matter is initially understood, and then before the contributions are taken. But there has to be, this is a discussion that one may need to have as time goes on. I don't have personal opinion on this, but again, I will just say that it will be a good thing to explore if it were possible to get views from children. Then we need to determine what age of children. I mean, you know that at some point in time, there has to be certain age limits to it. But I know that the next gen, there is significant contributions that next gen participants. I think next gen, if I recall, next gen are from 12 years. I'm not sure. I think there is a session later in this agenda that I think Shiranos is coming to discuss about fellowship. So hopefully she will talk about next gen, and you can perhaps she might even be in the best position to respond to the question on the children aspects as well. I hope I try to respond to that. Thank you.
Yes. So we're jokingly saying that even for the adults, they are not seeing top. So how much more? How much more for children? Anyway, that's just by the way. Please, any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. All right. So that's.
Yes, just to comment on his, he advised or admonished that those of us who are young and single should take the opportunity now before we add family responsibilities. I think it is very true, but again, I want to encourage all of us that getting married and having children shouldn't prevent us from progressing. But when he said it, I also learned a lot from it, that I could have done a lot before adding on this natural responsibility. But it is a natural responsibility. So once it comes, we should learn how to balance our various endeavors. Thank you.
Yes, I mean, absolutely, I agree. I agree with that, speaker. Absolutely, it's better late than never. Not too young to run, as they used to say, and not too old to participate as well. So it is just, I mean, the aspect of getting involved more, spending more time when you are young is a useful information for those who are young in the room. But for those who are family members, having children already, who have more responsibility, it still doesn't mean that you can't plan your time. It's just a matter of planning. I mean, plan your time, get involved. Most of these things also you can participate right from within your room or even in your office. You can join if you can find time for it. It's just to be intentional about it, and everything we put will come into space. I'm still participating even as I speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, there's another. Probably that might be the last question.
Thank you very much for the wonderful insight you've given us. I want to know if it's possible to join more than one at-large groups at the same time.
Okay. So at-large is divided into 5 RALOs. So Africa is one of the RALOs. That's AFRALO, and then AFRALO itself has 2 member categories. They have the at-large structures, that is the formal organization, maybe civil society, not-for-profit, and so on and so forth. They can register to become a member. So once they are a member, then it means that all the member of those organizations, like ISOC and things like that, all the members of those organizations, they are automatically member of AFRALO. Or you can also participate as an individual. Okay, so that means that you are not affiliated to any ALS, you are participating as an individual member. So AFRALO is for Africa. There are other RALOs in other regions, like we have LACRALO for the Latin America, we have EURALO for the European side, we have NARALO for the North America, and we have APRALO for the Asia Pacific side. So it really just depends on the question about whether you can join multiple at-large. I want to believe you were saying, you were asking whether you can join maybe AFRALO in Africa and then join maybe NARALO in North America. Well, because why you can, it is advised. I mean, some of our rules is advised that you do not join multiple, but again, nothing bars you from participating in the discussions there. You can subscribe to those mailing lists, to their mailing list. You can listen. For instance, I am subscribed to more than AFRALO mailing list. I'm subscribed to LACRALO mailing list as well, so you can subscribe to their mailing list and follow their discussions if you want. But joining formally may be something different. You may need to look at their rules because each RALO has their own rules. But because also we discuss things that may require each RALO to participate, so it will be like a double dip if you are contributing your views in AFRALO and at the same time you are contributing your views from NARALO, from the same person. So it will look like it's a double contribution. So that is not encouraged as much, but you can follow discussions from the other RALOs as well. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you very much. A follow-up question. So in case I joined AFRALO and then maybe I marry and then relocate to America, is it possible for me to switch, or I still have to maintain the AFRALO? Yeah,
you can switch. I mean, it's your choice. You can switch if you want to. If you want to now start contributing more, you want to become more active in the NARALO activities. That is the NARALO since you're in America. Because if you want to start getting involved in NARALO activities, it doesn't mean that you need to unsubscribe from AFRALO. You can still remain subscribed. You just have to be sensitive to the discussions that are happening. So if the discussions are global level discussions, and then you have to just contribute from one side, you get my point, so that it doesn't look like you're contributing on two sides, because the views may be diverse. What the NARALO people want, that is the North America side, what they want may be totally different from what we want in Africa. because our challenges are different, our environments are different. So you just, when such discussions happen, you just have to be you have to make sure that you are determined on what side that you want to be focusing on. But yes, you can switch, and it's very easy to do that. Just write to ICANN staff for them to coordinate that, to switch you to Naralu, where you want to formally start contributing. But you can still remain subscribed to Afralo. You get my point? You can still remain subscribed to Afralo, but then you now say you want to be formally recognized as member of Naralu. So that is possible.
Okay, so thank you so much. All too soon. We have come to the end of the first session. Yes, so please hold on for a special message.
Ogache. Thank you so much once again. And I know it's early in the morning where you are now. You have relocated and you've left us here. But we thank you for the sacrifice that you've done to join us, though it's early for you. The team Egikfa and all the fellows here say thank you so much. And we are so much appreciative of the opportunity to be with us. Thank you. And you're always my chair.
Thank you, bro. And I really appreciate the opportunity as well. I commend the leadership of Egikfa for always making an effort to organize this session every year. It's not an easy thing to achieve. And I'm not chair of Afralo right now, but I have to just say that the results from this effort of Egikfa is felt within Afralo, because we see a lot of Egikfa people, or do I say output, participating in Afralo and in ICANN as a whole. Now Afralo, more Egikfa people I think some of them are even fellows now, and even returning fellows as well. So it is a good thing, and I really commend you and you and Sarata for how far you've gone on with this particular project, which I think we should be celebrating an anniversary of it very soon. Maybe is it a decade now? Or getting to a decade. So time flies, and it's good to see how much progress this initiative has achieved. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to every member of the planning committee for organizing this fantastic event.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
Thank you. Yes, so let's take a picture with you before you
okay.
go. Yes, please. And then while we are doing that, our online community, we want to appreciate you. You've made the session. Yeah, so you can put on your videos as well. We are grateful for such an interactive session.
Let me know when it's time to smile. The picture will be taken so I can smile. We're not seeing the flash.
You can keep smiling, Sean.
They're not seeing the flash. You know, when we do a flash, that's when we know the pictures have been taken. All right. Yes to Egikfa, yes to GHANASIG. All good?
Not yet. Almost. Okay, hello, Sheung. Okay.
Yes.
All right. We are ready. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
bye from us. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Cheers.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I believe I believe we enjoyed the first session, and let's don't worry, it will come. Plenty will come. Don't worry. Oh. Okay, so thank you so much for taking time and coming on time, and the first to come here. Don't worry, your gift will come. So whilst we move to the next session, I'd like to have our very own senior and a lawyer. Okay. So I think let's give some few minutes. Okay, so who can tell me one thing they learned from the first session? He spoke about a lot of things. Maybe one thing you picked from the first session that you are really going to work on.
Thank you very much. The point where he mentioned that we should focus on one particular area of interest so that we can gain more insight, observe, and participate fully. That's what stands out for me.
Exactly. Thank you.
I also picked up on when he said we... Okay. Can you hear me? When he said we should start by observing, but we shouldn't observe all the time, like to eternity. Then eventually we should start participating. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. You don't have to observe for too long. As you are observing, you are learning. Then you fly. Okay.
So what I also picked is that now that there is time for us, we are single, we don't have...
Don't say we are single.
Okay, now that we don't have so much burden on us, and we should use that opportunity to engage in the community the more before we have some add-on responsibilities at a later time.
Okay, thank you so much. You can go ahead.
Okay, my mind is we should post the messages once it makes sense to us. We shouldn't hold on to it. We should post. That's the only way our voices can be heard.
Thank you so much. Any other person? Welcome to you.
So my key takeaway is, regardless of your age, you should just get started, active participation, and it shall be well.
Yes, it shall be well. And it is well.
I also learned that you don't have to be an expert to start. Involvement starts with curiosity and consistency. And also we should participate. Participation is key. Yeah.
Exactly. Continuous participation makes you the expert you want to be. Any person? Okay.
Yeah, I like his the progression of his journey. I like the fact that he didn't shy away from the fact that at some point he was vulnerable too. So he didn't make it look as if, oh, you are doing nothing if you just don't dive down right in and you are just flying. So he took us through his process. I kind of like that. Then I like the personalized information I got because, like I told him from the beginning, and that's one thing about me when I learn, my mind is, okay, how does this apply to me? How do I apply this? How do I get involved? So from the beginning, I've been like, and I'll keep searching and searching, and I never found anything. So for him to direct me the right way, I think I really, really appreciate that. And I will also want a follow-up. He promised they should give me his email. so I've been approved to have his email. So
no problem.
I like that.
Great. So you are going to have that. And like we said, engagement, and you'll be introduced to more as well. Oh, gifts, eh? Don't worry. Don't worry, the chocolates will come. Small time. Okay, so I think we've all learned something great from the first presentation. And there is an, okay.
Go to it, please, I'm here.
Oh, madam, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see you.
Yes, my hand has been up.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So I was waiting for somebody to say one of the things that was said was you shouldn't be a surviving observer. That is, you shouldn't be observing throughout your life in this ecosystem. We should actively also participate in it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, yes, one of the fellows highlighted that. And yes, Sean said it, but I think during the round, a fellow also highlighted that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so I think our next speaker is ready, who is our very own VP Legal and Engagements, and also the co-founder of AGICFA, in the person of Jacob Odami Beidin. Please give me a hand of applause. Let's welcome Mr. Jacob, who will be taking us through human rights chapter.
Thank you very much. Yes, you wanted to screw my name. My name is Jacob Odami Beidin. Yes, and okay, it's okay. Yes, and I'm going to look at human rights in the digital age and narrowing down on what we call the Human Rights Charter. Okay, so this session, let me tell you something. In your engagement, and you would learn today about different ways by which you can engage within the IG ecosystem. But you know, we have the Internet Governance Forum. Now, in the Internet Governance Forum, yes, we know we meet annually, and then we discuss all these topics. But to work within the forum, we have something called the dynamic coalitions. Now, the dynamic coalitions touch on several, areas of interest. Now, let me give you an example. We have the dynamic coalition on IG schools. So for this GHANASIG program that GHANASIG organizes, we have joined the IG schools, the dynamic coalition. And in these IG schools, you have similar schools who are members, and they share and interact and share experiences, okay, how you can effectively organize successful IG schools, curriculum, and the methodologies of teaching. Then we have the dynamic coalition called the IRPC. So that's the IRPC is the Internet Rights and Principles Coalition. Now, I happen to be a member of this coalition. GHANASIG is a member of this coalition, and I'm a leader in that coalition. Okay? So, as part of my leadership role in that coalition, I have an added responsibility of being the African Regional Coordinator, and I need to look for forums like this to champion the coalition's work. Okay, so in as much as I want to talk about digital rights, I would, focus on the output of the coalition, the work of the coalition over almost a decade now, which is the Human Rights Charter. Please, do we get it? Excellent. So let's go. This is what yes, I copied what people have done today, yesterday and today. So this is just a summary so that you can know my background. Okay, I describe myself as a tech lawyer. Yes, and then let me also mention this. I'm a co-founding partner of Fusion Legal Consult, and I'm happy to mention this because we were able to provide some sponsorship for this year's GHANASIG. But that is my little profile and education. Now, so I am not so much into PowerPoint, so I try to, make it a bit colorful. So this is the outline. I'm going to tell you what the IRPC is, then how the IRPC is situated in the IGF, and then we'll look at human rights in the online environment. We will look at the genesis of rights, okay? That is the work of the UDHR, the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. And then we are going to look at the charter, what the charter is, okay? And then what we've been able to achieve through the charter. Okay, so this is for people who like simple things. This is the outline. Now, can we begin? So what is the IRPC? The IRPC, it's an acronym for Internet Rights and Principles Coalition. Like I've told you, it's a dynamic coalition. You have people from all over. So if you are an individual or you are an organization who is interested in human rights, then that is a place for you to be. Okay, so it's an open network of individuals and organizations. It is based at the UN Internet Governance Forum. And we know that the UN Internet Governance Forum, when we are talking about a platform where we meet to discuss. So it's not like a physical location. Okay, so it's one of the dynamic coalitions. And then it's committed to making human rights work in the online environment just as it does in the physical environment. Yeah, so we know we have rights. How do we take the rights that we know and get them to work in the online environment as we gradually move our lives totally into the online spaces? Can I continue? Yes. So, I mentioned what the Internet Governance Forum is. And I know by now you know what Internet Governance Forum is. Okay. Yes. So the most important thing here is multi-stakeholder. Okay, multi-stakeholder means that you would have people from various, backgrounds, whether technical, whether from the academic community, civil society, businesses, wherever you are coming from, you can become part of the IGF. And again, also in the coalition. So you'd have someone who is very technical and they are interested in human rights issues. You have someone who is an advocate from the civil society side. They are interested in human rights issues and they have their unique interests, okay, when they come to participate in the work of the coalition. So it's open, okay, and we know the definition of internet governance. That one I won't bore you because I reviewed your application. I saw how people were able to research and give us all the definitions for internet governance. Okay, so when we talk about human rights and principles for the online environment, what are we talking about? We see human rights, and then we see principles, and then we see online environment. So human rights is actually rooted in international law. What that means is that we are talking about laws that apply globally. Okay, so when you talk about international law, you are talking about those laws, for example, treaties, okay, government, state to state, or multi-state, expect that these laws would be able to work across, and that is what we mean by international law. And human rights sits within international law. It's very key, we'll talk about that. And then we also talk about principles. When we talk about the principles, we are talking about some processes or guidelines, okay, to frame the laws or the human rights laws. And then when we talk about the online environment, I've already touched on that. that we have human rights, but we need to get them to work in the online spaces. Remember that when it comes to the application of the law, we have, especially the enforcers, whether the police or the interpreters, the judges, most of them are, or it's an environment that is quite, for want of a better word, it sits like within tradition, okay? So we need to be able to get these people to know and understand that what we mean by human rights in the physical spaces is very applicable in the online environment. Yes. Now, you ask yourself, why should we champion human rights in online spaces? Okay. We need to champion this because of the issues. Today, we are all online. Yesterday, my colleague talked about the fact that we have several devices. People have 2 or 3 devices. You have your laptop minimum, you have your phone, and you are engaged online. And there are some issues that are coming up in the online environment, and they are issues that when you come to the physical spaces, we are trying to safeguard by way of human rights. Now, we talk about issues like digital divide. And you may see it as a simple, term, but it affects a lot of rights. Digital divide means that, let's say, Accra, you have access to the internet. You go to Sunyani or you go to Tamale, and you don't have. And you have to have access to education, for instance. And now you know that for you to access education, sometimes we are going online. So the digital divide can automatically affect your rights to quality education, health, for instance, where, through telemedicine, that remote community in the Upper West or somewhere, Tumu or somewhere, where we could maybe transmit information for doctors or health workers over there to be able to do or implement some procedure, they are cut off. Okay, so these are issues. Issues about internet shutdowns. Yesterday we heard about internet shutdown, where people cannot mobilize, and especially when we talk about the political season, sometimes the government in power would like to, limit dissenting views, or they don't want their issues to go out there. They turn off the internet, and it affects people's rights to assembly, for instance. Okay, so these are issues. We'll talk about them: online, censorship, hate speech, surveillance, and the rest. We need to talk about it to make sure that people are aware. Okay, we need to advocate. People are aware, create awareness to help promote change. Okay, now we want to ensure that people know their rights and enjoy them in full, wherever they are, whether online or offline. Okay, now let me talk about this. Now we need to think about the genesis of rights. Okay, because if we understand this, we will know why we need to be able to safeguard our human rights. Now, over the years, we've experienced the World War, 2 world wars, right? So 2014 to 2018, First World War. And then the Second World War, which ended around 1945, I think. Now, that Second World War, when it ended, people sat down and counted their losses. We saw one of the most atrocious atrocities, people butchering people. That is when we had the Holocaust, that millions of Jews were killed. Okay, so the whole concept of human dignity and human rights was suspended. So when the war ended, then they formed the United Nations. And what inspired the formation of the UN was not just to prevent further wars, but to safeguard human dignity because of what happened. Okay, so once the UN was formed, their first task was, how do we develop the first universal Bill of Rights to guide how we live as humans? Okay, so they set out to work. I was led by the widow of Franklin Roosevelt. Her name is Eleanor Roosevelt. So aside being the first lady, she was someone who championed human rights, did a lot of activism. So they saw that she's someone, and she spoke several languages. Okay, so she could easily, engage with several leaders, several languages, and be able to articulate and get input. So she led the team, and they came up with the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. And in 1948, December 10, it was passed. Okay. So let me just run through some of them so that as we go, you would understand. One is what? We are all born free and equal. That is one. Two, everyone has rights despite differences. All have the right to live and live in safety. No one may enslave you. No one may torture you. You have rights no matter where you travel. So that is the international nature of human rights. Okay, so you don't say, I have the right to live in Ghana, but you get to the US, you don't have the right. It is universal. And human rights are protected by law. No one should be unfairly detained. All have a right to a fair trial. All accused persons are innocent until proven guilty. All have a right to privacy. Yesterday, we heard about privacy. Think about when they came up with these laws. Yes, we had the radio. But we didn't know that we were going to get, or maybe people had that foresight. Now we are in the online spaces, and anytime we talk about data privacy, you don't even think about the privacy in your homes. You think about what? The privacy in online or digital spaces. Okay, but they thought about this then. All have rights to move freely, freedom of movement. All may enjoy asylum from persecution. All have a right to nationality. All may marry and establish families. All may own property. All may think freely, okay, including religion. All may freely express their opinions. All may assemble, freedom of assembly. All may participate in governing. So you can become part of the political process. And then all have right to dignity and social protection. All have rights to rest and leisure. All have rights to education, intellectual property, and so forth, and so on. So the members of the UN then, they all unanimously approved. And every other country that joined the UN accepted that these rights are rights that should be protected. Okay. Once they ratified or adopted this, when it comes to international law, your country would go and accept. But what you do when you come home is to integrate them into your national laws. Then it becomes binding in your home soil. So that's what most governments did. What the government did was, right after they signed on signed on for the adoption, they went back to their respective countries and they placed rights at the center of their national constitutions. Okay, so not just when it comes to hierarchy of laws, we have the constitution, then you have the statutes, the acts of parliament and the rest, but they placed them in their national constitution. Why did they place them? This is a law class. Why did they place them in their national constitution?
And it's kind of entrenched. It's
Yes.
difficult for someone to change.
Yes. Yes. Please put your hands together for her. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's Esquire. Yeah, that's my lawyer. So That's very important. In the national constitution, because the provisions in the national constitution are entrenched, it's not easy to change. Okay? Before you make changes, you have to go through referendum and all the processes. Very expensive. People must vote. So they went and then they placed them in the national laws. So there's something called the famous chapter 25. Now, when you go to several countries in their national laws, you would see that chapter 25, or no, chapter 5 of the constitution, their constitution, including Ghana, is dedicated for rights. Okay. So, for example, you look at our own Ghana constitution, look at Article 13, rights to life. Okay, you see the corresponding, clause in the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. Personal liberty, Article 14, respect for human dignity. Article 15, equality and non-discrimination, Article 17. Article 18, Clause 2 is what? On privacy. Yesterday we talked about it. And then you have Article 21, freedom of expression, freedom of opinion, freedom of association. Okay, Article 21, Clause 1D. And then rights to information. Again, Article 21, rights to education. So you see all these rights now in our national constitutions and several other national constitutions. And then we went further to expound on these rights in our statutes. So, for example, today you have several technology laws. Okay, you cannot share information. You just receive information, you share it anyhow. There is a law that can what? That can hold you down. We have human rights acts. So they are deriving their sources from what? From the Constitution. Okay, and these rights, they cut across, so we've grouped them into economic rights, social rights, civil rights. We've classified them that way. Please, are you following? Yes. Because when we understand this and we understand the importance and we talk about the work of the charter, then you can be a champion. And my goal here is to whet your appetite so that if you are thinking about engaging in the Internet Governance Forum, you would find the rights, coalition, dynamic coalition as a place to go and contribute. Okay, so what is the IRPC Charter? What is it? What is the IRPC Charter? It is a comprehensive framework anchored in international human rights law and norms. And I've explained to you what international laws are. It draws on the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. So what the IRPC Charter does is that it's trying to now translate the rights contained in the Universal Declaration on Human Rights that has been entrenched in national constitution and linking them in how they apply to online spaces. Okay, so once this charter is sold to you, you don't see it as some strange rights coming from somewhere. Look at the provisions. The provisions are exactly what is contained in the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. But then we are linking it to online spaces and how people can enjoy their rights in online spaces. It is the outcome of collaborative work involving several stakeholders. So like I told you, the dynamic coalition itself, okay, on human rights is very, it's dynamic indeed. Okay, you have several stakeholders. Now, this coalition contributed, all these stakeholders contributed in drafting and then suggesting and then editing. And then when they came up with the draft, they shared it with the wider IGF community, other coalitions, to take a look and then make their input. Yeah, so it's a very comprehensive document. Now, it addresses government. We believe that governments have the power, okay, to make laws. And when we talk about the government, we know that, the various arms of governments, they all constitute government. But then it also addresses the business or the private sector. Okay? Because there's this global standard called the Protect, Respect, and Remedy Framework. Okay? That was developed within the UN system to safeguard human rights in the business environment. Okay, so it addresses businesses, it also addresses governments. So that is the IRPC Charter, or for short, the Human Rights Charter, what it is. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of the Charter? And why did the coalition dedicate their time to generate or to create the Charter? We wanted a shared reference point for dialogue and cooperation. It is not binding, but then to get legislators or to get governments to think and know how they can apply laws and translate them to fit the environment, we needed some reference document or a reference point. And that is the purpose of the Charter. Okay. It is an authoritative document for framing rights-based norms for the online environment. Okay, it's a policy-making and advocacy tool. So you can pick it and then look at the provisions and then use that for advocacy. So if you're an activist and then you want a source like document which is trusted, and then you can make references to advocate when you see that certain rights are being infringed upon, human rights are being infringed upon within the online framework, you can use that document for your work. Please, are we okay? Yes. Now, maybe because of time, so what I've done is I've shared a copy of the IRPC Charter with you. Let me see if you've not received it. You've all received it. Yes. So maybe you can open it. But I need you to go back and then study. It's a lot, right? So I need you to go back and then study. Yes. But what happens is that, you know that, is it 1 minute elevator pitch? So we have 21 articles within the IRPC Charter. That is very elaborate. And then we've summarized it into 10-point principles. So we have what? Universality and equality. All humans are born free and equal in dignity and rights, and which must be respected and protected and fulfilled in the online environment. Then we have rights and social justice. The internet is a space for the promotion and protection and fulfillment of human rights and advancement of social justice. Everyone has the duty to respect the human rights of others in the online environment. So if you are thinking about cyberbullying and, you have to know that you are infringing on this principle. Then we have accessibility. Everyone has an equal access or equal right to access and use a secure and open internet. The internet is open. But then we need to make sure that we are using a secured internet. I put something there, or I send something to you, to your inbox, and it should work in such a way that it will not go to everyone. Do you get it? So these are all principles. Now, yes, we have what happened? Okay. Yes, we have expression and association. Let me read that one. Everyone has the right to seek, receive, and impart information freely on the internet without censorship or other interference. Everyone also has the right to associate freely through and on the internet for social, political, cultural, and other economic purposes. Are you following? Yes. then we can discuss. 4, expression and association. Now, you know, when we talked about the Declaration on Human Rights, we saw freedom of expression. And then we came to our national laws, the Constitution, we saw freedom of expression. Now, we are trying to apply this in the online environment. So this principle says, everyone has a right to seek, receive, and impart information freely on the internet. Okay? Without censorship and other interference. You have some issue, tell us. Yes. Yes.
And of course, things that you tell us, posting anything or freely expressing whatever you want to post. Freely on the internet. But again, we have laws guiding certain jurisdictions. So I believe, although you have the right, free censorship to post and other things, certain things should hinder you, especially with the censorship ones. So in a particular jurisdiction, you don't have the rights to post certain things. And I think that would apply to that.
Yes, yes. So you cannot share everything. Rights come with what? Responsibilities. So you would see that there are laws that would provide, for example, certain state agencies to step in. So you cannot just pick someone's note picture and then you just start sharing. Okay? You'll be offending a particular act. Okay? And then that will be what? A crime. And that will go after you. Okay, so it doesn't mean that, yes, you see that this is what is written, and then you just go and then say, hey, I can do A, B, C, D. Like I told you, these are principles, they are suggestions about how we can enforce the rights in the online spaces. But you don't just go and do what you like, because in the national laws also, they've put limitations, what government can do. And so you need to know that when you are doing something online and physically in our criminal laws, okay, you have to check, does this one, can I do this in the offline environment? So just like you want the rights to apply online, step out also and then look at what's the offline environment and see, can I do this? Else you would also have advocates who are saying that those offline laws should go after people when they do A, B, C, D in the online environment. Okay. So where did we get to? Privacy and data protection. We talked about that yesterday. Okay. Everyone has the right to privacy online. This includes freedom from surveillance. Okay, the rights to use encryption, the rights to online anonymity. Everyone also has the rights to data protection, including control over personal data. Now, when you look at the Data Protection Commission, you know, we have the laws, and then you also have the Cybersecurity Authority. Now, when you look at these two, they are acts. You realize that you cannot just do things anyhow. Okay, so you want to make sure that the state protects your rights, but you must also be careful, okay, not to, as a business, treat people's data anyhow. They will come after you. And you must also make sure you won't get into the area of cybersecurity breaches, cyber crimes, and the rest, because then the laws would come after you. Then you have rights to life, liberty, and security. The rights to life, liberty, and security must be respected, protected, and fulfilled online. These rights must not be infringed upon or used to infringe other rights in the online environment. You have diversity, cultural and linguistic diversity on the internet must be promoted, and technical policy and innovation should be encouraged to facilitate plurality of expression. Okay, so we need to respect diverse opinions, diversity on the internet. And then net neutrality. Who knows what net neutrality is? It's a form of discrimination, yes. Yes. It's an IT term. Oh, sorry, yeah.
So it's about how the internet can be open for all, and so that certain group of people cannot have full control. So let me use an example. For example, if MTN decide to invest into 5G, and government doesn't step in terms of control, then it happens that the whole of Ghana, everybody is now using MTN. Then you want to go into the internet, then MTN decide that anytime you search about the Bible, it takes, let's say, 5 minutes before it comes. But when you search about LGBT, it comes within a second. So with that, MTN will be able to either control everybody to now believe in certain things. So with net neutrality, you try to make sure that the internet is not being controlled by one person. So make sure that everybody has their way of handling the internet. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. It deserves an applause. Yes. Yes. So in the pure legal term or human rights term, we'll be talking about what discrimination, for instance. But net neutrality, yes, tries to what? Address the issue of discrimination. Same speed, irrespective of who you are. It is a very contentious matter because from the business perspective, sometimes they try to, do some tiering so that I'm able to sell some speed for you, and then I'm able to limit the speed for another person, especially where I see that this person is a competitor. Okay, yes, they all breach human rights laws. Okay, yes. Now let's look at standards and regulations. Okay, so come again. Yes. The Internet architecture, communication systems, and document and data formats shall be based on open standards and ensure complete interoperability, inclusion, and equal opportunity for all. Yes. So this actually is rooted on the concept of what? Equality, or on the right of equality, and it must apply in the online environment. Okay, and then we talk about governance. Human rights and social justice must form the legal and normative foundations upon which the internet operates and is governed. This shall happen in a transparent and multilateral manner based on the principles of openness, inclusivity, participation, and accountability. So we know the internet. Yesterday, someone shared the beginnings or the basis of the internet. And the internet thrives on the principle of what? Openness. Okay, end to end. We can all grow the internet. We can all use, we can all participate. Okay. And then we can all, when it comes to the participation, we know about governance. So the term internet governance, where several stakeholders can participate and join in the policy development processes of how the internet should be shaped. It tells you that there is some global governance, but it is very open so that everyone can come in and what? And participate. Okay, so these are the principles, and I would encourage you to look at the charter itself. So the charter expands these principles into 21 articles. And when you look at that one closely, you realize that it breaks down so that if you are a country and you don't know how to really go about it, it breaks down to the nitty-gritty for you to be able to know what to do. For example, the judicial system, if they don't know how to go about it, it breaks that down. But because of time, we cannot go through all. But the most important thing that I want you to get is that, and agree with me, is that human rights, because our lives today, and you agree with me, nowadays you go to the banks. I went to GCB recently, and GCB is, who was at GCB here? Okay. But I remember some time ago, I lived and worked in Winneba. And the only bank then in Winneba was GCB. And I remember going there to take some coins that my employers will pay me. And the queue and the people, you just get there and you feel depressed. It's like a whole day journey. And then now what happens? I went there recently and the place was just vacant. And my relationship manager says, look, now you can do everything. Account, transfer, Momo. You don't even have to go there unless you have some transaction B. Do you get it? It means that we are really going what? That's just one example. We are going digital. We are going digital. There was a time, I don't know whether I told Raymond, I was at JFK and I was hungry. Raymond, serious. I was so hungry, I wanted to get some food before the flight. And I queued, not knowing, before you get to the place where you pick the food, everything is like, you have to use the card. Now I got there, and then I asked the lady, oh, can I pay with cash? I'm seeing that everyone is just swiping. She says, no, we don't take cash. That day, I went back, looked for another shop, and then when I got there, I just wanted something. And what I could get there was chocolate. The first thing I asked the gentleman, can I use cash? He says, oh, of course. If not for that, I would have starved because I was very, 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 very hungry. You see, so our lives have changed dramatically. And so we need to be able to ensure that the human rights that we enjoy in the offline environment is applicable, okay? So that you are safe, I am safe, we are all safe. Yes. So that we continue to maintain our dignity, okay? Am I still in control? I think so. Okay, so this is what happened. This is to show you that the charter is so important that it has been translated into several documents. The charter, in fact, when you read the preamble to the charter, it tells you that it is a living document. That is, by the way, how we describe our constitution. The constitution is a living organism capable of what? Growth and development, which means it's not static. So that if someone looks at the charter and says that, look, I think this particular clause, we need to phrase it this way, we can always add up, we can subtract to make sure that it's okay. It has been translated into several, I'm not able to move to the next. Okay, it is translated into several languages. Okay, so all the languages over here. And when you join the IRPC, we are looking for people to translate them into other languages. Okay, So those of us who are interested in the wiki project that Stephen talked about, maybe you can come with the same concept. If you want this and you participate in the IRPC, you can maybe secure some funding to go that path. Okay, so we need more translation. And that's why we need more participation. Now, this slide actually tells you how the Act has been used to effect change in several parts of the world. Okay, so this is to encourage you that you can use this Act. You can go to your parliament. You can see Sam George, the Honorable Minister. You have some leaders or some people in positions. I think Sam George is very engaged within the IG ecosystem. So he's somebody who I believe is well placed. But there are people who will be holding portfolio who should be able to effect these changes, and they may not know. But now that you know, you can carry this document, you can show, look, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. Okay? And you yourself can champion campaigns like what has happened in several parts of the world. So you can see, for example, the charter in the Spanish Senate, okay, and also what it has been used for in New Zealand. Okay, and we have more resources. Okay, so I've given this to you. You click on it, it's already linked, and then you can read about how, you can read more about the charter in several documentaries. Okay, that tells you the impact of the work. Yes, and can I end here and then give you the chance to ask any questions at all that you have? Thank you.
So, hello. Yes. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. My question is, I want to know if the charter it's an international instrument. So I want to know if it's binding on all the states, or they've ratified it. I want to know because of the China issue with their internet. So if there is a document like this and they've ratified it, how does that apply to them?
Okay, that's a very good question. Now, this document is not binding. Okay, this document can be used for like I told you, it's a reference point. It can be a persuasive document that you can take for your advocacy. Maybe we will get there because it falls within the UN system. And I know people are taking some nice selfies. It falls within the UN system. And one thing that we need to know is that when you look at the work of the IGF itself, it's not binding. Okay, so people go to the IGF, they talk about the issues, but you don't go there as maybe a government member and go and sign something that is binding on you. Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that beautiful presentation. I was really enjoying the presentation. I was focusing on everything that you were saying. You mentioned the IRPC. Yes. How can we get involved from here?
That's a very good question, and I couldn't have ended my presentation without sharing. And this year, next month, or this month, we are supposed to have election. I've been doing this work for 2 terms. I think almost 4 years or so. Yeah, so I'm bringing my work to a close. Now you go to Internet Rights and Principles Coalition. No, Internet Rights and Principles.org. Immediately you open, you will see join us. So you can check. Once you go, you would see join. You click join and it will take you to a form where you can subscribe to the mailing list. And that is it. Immediately you sign up, you become part of the mailing list, and every discussions you are going to see, and you can start participating immediately.
Okay, is it open to all?
It is open to all. So number one, you should be an individual or you should be an organization and you are interested in human rights matters. Yes. I've shared this with you, the document. So when you go to the thank you page, the last page, when you go to the thank you page, you would see internetrightsandprinciples.org. So you just go to this URL. So this one is dedicated to the charter. I don't know whether, it routes to the same. But go to internetrightsandprinciples.org. When you go to this page, you would see join. Is it there? Yes. So when you click, you would see a form will open. And I entreat you. Every year after this session, I'll get a call and say, what happened? We've seen a jump in our membership. And it's because of me doing my work. Yes, through a GIGFA. Yes, so please sign up. You would love being there. There are lots of documents. Every document that is developed, especially from the UN, they want to get perspective of people, experts in human rights. They would send a document for us to review before it goes. Okay, so it's a place where you get to learn and contribute. Yes, my sister. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for this enlightening session again. Well, I've been thinking about this, that we all know that the internet is an open environment, but my mind, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I see a trend which I am calling as an academic, the modern slavery. We are using the internet to enslave ourselves as people of Africa. Why am I saying this? We know that we have our rights, just like I can walk around. Just like we were here many, many years ago, a group of people came. They never put guns on our forefathers to give our brethren to them. We willingly gave our family members out. No white man, according to history, ever held a gun to any black person and say, give me your colleague. They came with items. Before you take the item, do what? Give me a human being. They never forced us. Now, we are doing a similar thing, especially me being an academic. We publish articles, or we write articles, and we put in Western journals. My own article, before I get access to it, I'm being asked to pay. We are at AAU. African universities pay so much in foreign currency to get access to content from outside, which, though we are contributing very minor elements to. So I have been saying that with the internet environment, in a few years' time, our own items we have posted online, there will be, I will call it extortion. That's why it's another level of slavery. We have to be paying them to get access. I ask young people every day, do you have photo albums? No. Where do we save our pictures now? Online. Do you have any agreement with Facebook that says, tells Facebook or Snapchat to keep your photos for you for life? We have all coded these platforms. So tomorrow, my great-great-grandchildren want to know who I look like. I don't have a photo album. It's on my Facebook account. And when I die, who knows and by then that generation, all my friends would have died. So how are we going to get content that we ourselves have posted online? So when we talk about human rights in the digital environment, it is very broad that we must all be thinking about it. Yesterday we were educated that at least Ghana government has taken the initiative not to store our government-related information on Western servers. That is one way to go about it. So in our own little ways, we should know that it's, for me, I can read a mind behind what is happening in the West. They come, sorry if I'm talking too much. I received I received an application from an institution in the UK called Endangered Archives. This is a project that someone wrote from Ghana for sponsorship, and they sent to me as an expert to review. And I didn't accept or approve the project. This is because the person wanted to archive, I've forgotten, I think the name, but it's our land titles, which it is true they are deteriorating, I'm sure in a building somewhere in Accra. So this gentleman, who is not even any top official in the organization, has written to Endangered Archives for them to give him funds to digitize the document, which is a good one. But the clause is that it must be saved on the servers of Endangered Archives in the UK. Government of Ghana property. What will happen to it tomorrow? Is it for us? So if they take our land documents to come and tell us that the land belongs to them in future, what do we say? So I didn't approve the project. And the person may think that he or she didn't write a good project. So for us as information professionals, when we are digitizing, we advocate for local storage or servers that we have control over. Once we give to institutions, we are again selling our rights to these institutions in the Western world. And one day they will tell us, pay before you get access to these things. And then it's another level of slavery. So lawyer, if you understand my perspective, we can start putting some academic discussions together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, what you raised is very important. The internet is open. The human rights issues that we discussed online itself.
No, there is a hand online as well, so maybe after you respond.
So let me just make a comment. We need to move. So we have all these open tools. We have access through, ICANN and the rest. Okay, we can get our own domain names. We need to shift the mindset from consumption to we creating. That is what everybody is doing in China, in Europe. Yes, these advanced countries have developed a lot of platforms, but we need to sit back and then develop African projects owned by us. Okay, we are talking about the AI, we are talking about ChatGPT. Yes, I know that there are chips that are very high-end. I think the American government is restricting companies like NVIDIA, okay, from selling to maybe China and other countries that they consider as adversarial, countries. But then they also realize that even the low chips that are available, you heard about DeepSeek. Yes, very low-end chips, they were able to use them effectively to generate a product that can rival ChatGPT, for instance. Yes, we can come home and then know that, look, we need to move from the consumption, it is available, we can use, to we creating something on our own. Because whether we like it or not, we are providing the data that is training this module. Once you ask a question, even with your location, it's enough data that, okay, this person is standing here at GHANASIG and asking this question. It's enough data to start training their models. But we need to build something on our own and then own it. You can start from somewhere. Else, yes, I agree with you that we are giving a lot. And the clause is that, when you download these applications and you start using it, there is some consent that we didn't even read. And that is an exception to data protection, if you remember yesterday, that if you consent that do this, then the data controller can process. Yeah, so thanks so much for raising this. And yes, we need to think about working around something. Thank you so much.
Okay, so
my sister
Fanny, if you can hear us,
okay,
you are the last person since we are out of time.
Or we can keep the discussions, going in the
after
room.
So Fanny, if you can hear us, you can unmute and speak. Okay, I think she's off as well. So let's read the last question in the chat so we can balance it. So there's a comment here. It said a good submission, only that the reality of our local infrastructure is questionable at best because of poor maintenance culture. So I think it's just a comment to
They are
what,
trying to respond to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think maybe you can give your final remarks whilst we end for this session.
Yeah.
Or
One last question. Do we have gender balance in the questioning? Okay. Moderator, please, you nominate who is.
No, you've spoken already.
Since you don't want.
Okay.
Hey, moderator.
Thank you for the presentation. Okay.
Please go ahead. Yes.
What legal protection do Ghanaian students have if their digital rights are violated online?
What rights?
What legal protection
Yes.
do Ghanaian students have
Yes.
if their digital rights are violated online?
Yes. So we have laws in this country. One of them is the Data Protection Act. One of them is the Cybersecurity Act. Okay. We have the Electronic Transaction Act. In these acts, there are provisions. One of the things that I would advocate for is to try and then pull out the human rights element and then put them all. I know there's an HR Act, but we need to be able to bring all these things together, especially the ones touching on the online spaces. Yes, so you have rights, for instance, from the data privacy or the data protection presentation. We saw that your personal data, when it is misused, you can report to the Data Protection Commission, and they will find the data controller that has breached. Okay, and you can go to court, talk to your lawyer. They will listen to your issue. They will find the right provision, like the recent court cases that we have seen. Okay, where people have gone because there is a CCTV in the room where the doctor is doing the examination. Okay, so we have seen people enforcing their rights. So the laws are there. Yes. So students, like every other person, can enforce their rights. Yes, there's a question. Okay.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. My name is Jeffrey. My question has to do with digital surveillance. I think back in 2020, I was in church having a discussion with a friend, and he was talking about a mythical beast in Greek mythology, something called Leviathan or something, a very gigantic beast. So I go home. Immediately I go home, I opened my Facebook. The first thing I saw was the Leviathan. And mind you, I had never searched anything relating to Greek mythology or something. But I opened my Facebook, the first thing I saw was Leviathan. I'm saying, hey, why? Is Facebook listening to my private conversation or what? So I got scared. I felt I was being spied on by Facebook. So my question is regarding digital surveillance. How sure are we that we are being protected and these third-party companies are not exploiting our personal data, are not recording our personal data, and then using it for other non-specified purposes?
Thank you very much. I think this is a very important question you've raised, because I have experienced it, and I don't know whether people have experienced it here. Let me see by hands if you've experienced it, where you are having a discussion, okay, and then you open your app, or you are discussing some car you want to buy, or a shoe you want to buy, or something. Yes, and then you open, and then, so the technical people, I want you to tell me what happens. Is it that the devices are listening to us?
Yeah. Okay. So.
And they are watching us. And they are watching us. Who has used the Grok? You have access to Grok. It's just crazy. Because I was talking to Grok, and then Grok was responding, and then I thought I had, ended the session, and I put my phone down. And then I was talking, and then it just said, "Hey, what did you say?" Yeah, so I won't say I have a ready answer to, but I believe that these devices are listening to us.
I think
Yes.
for the.
Yes, you have an answer. Okay.
So we actually been listened to. So the truth of the matter is, whenever there's an update, you need to check the terms and conditions. I know we all hate it, but you actually have to do it. For Android, what really helps you, it will tell you the things that is going to give access to. So I deleted Facebook the day it started asking about getting access to my microphone. So for over 7 years, I don't use Facebook and any Facebook associated stuff, because Facebook started it way earlier. Instagram does it, which is also a Facebook thing. I'm only there because my wife always sends me stuff. So you need to be very careful. Only go onto a platform if you need to. If you don't need to, it's better to just open it on your PC, work on your PC, close it. That's it. It is, assume nobody is protecting you, because nobody really has the time to protect you. That's the truth of the matter. The government doesn't have the resources to make sure that each citizen is being taken care of. And the social media people are in there to make money. You are not paying for the social media. So how are they getting money? They are getting money off you. Yes, you are the product. So you need to really consider it very carefully. Every footprint you make online is being recorded. There's an audit trail for every single thing. So don't assume you have been, nobody will protect you. That's the truth of the matter. So protect yourself, especially those who have kids. You need to be very careful. There's been so many instances where people have robbed houses because the kids were showed their location on Snapchat or something like that. And then the house was robbed. So we need to be very, very careful. Don't assume you are being protected.
Do it for him.
I want to add a bit to what Frank said. I think after that incident, I wanted to read about it and understand what happened. So what I saw was there's this thing called profiling. So whatever you do, let's say on Facebook, even if you watch a video and you don't interact, it's recorded somewhere. The data is kept somewhere. If you like, it's kept somewhere. If you comment, whatever you do is kept somewhere. And it's profiled to you. Your personal data is profiled. So there's this understanding that if you interact with people, other people, a lot, there's a likelihood that the content they like, you also like, because you are constantly engaging them. Means there's a mutual understanding between you. So content that is pushed to them will also be pushed to you, because there's a higher likelihood of you being, liking those things. So they will also push it to you. Not necessarily they are spying on you, but then you have been profiled, and your profile has been in constant communication with this other person. And let's say you attend the same church. So Monday, you meet this person. Wednesday, you meet this person for midweek session. On Sunday, you meet the person at church, maybe on Friday for all night. So 4 times a week, you've come into contact with this person. Then Facebook, the algorithm will look, this person has been in close proximity, because Facebook will always keep your location. So Facebook knows you are 4 times a week, you are in close proximity to this person. So let's say this person likes to watch this kind of movies. So you are there, and the Facebook will recommend this video to you. Anime. My friends love anime. So once in a while, they bring up anime. So Facebook will say, oh, your friends like anime. Let me push anime content to you. Let me push this content to you. By the time you realize, you also like it, And then Facebook will use your profile to also push your content that you like to other people that are in constant proximity to you. That is something small I read about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Last question. Now, this is so insightful. I am learning a lot.
No, I think we will just end it here, please. We are far behind time. We are very far
Or maybe
behind
we
time.
have a discussion during the coffee
so maybe
break.
afterwards we can do that. We are far
Yes.
behind time. Please, let's.
My question is based on the net neutrality. We've realized that the marginalized groups, that for example, the women here are much lesser than the male, but at least the women, they are getting involved. But with people with disabilities and stuff, I don't know how they will be able to be better included in the IRPC chartered policy and then decision making. Because I think for the past few days, almost all the discussion, I've not really heard much about people with disability, how they are involved in the internet governance.
Thank you very much. And I believe there is a dynamic coalition that deals with disability at the Internet Governance Forum. It's very, so when you go through, you would see something on inclusion. Yes. Giving access to all. Okay, giving access to all. So what you have said is very important. We need to find ways of ensuring that it, especially in the online environment. I know in the physical environment, we would say that, look, give this, build, the staircase should be this or should be that. Yes. In product development, for instance, you'd see what Apple or Microsoft, whether it's on the software side, whether it's on the hardware side, introducing, these elements so that people who have some disability would be able to use the devices. Okay, these are all guidelines that they are following. Yeah, so it's very important. In this meeting, we need to think about disability. Okay, disability access, even to the venue. We need to make sure that we are checking where we are coming to, and then remote participation. Maybe someone needs some, hearing aid or anything. Yeah, so it's very important points, yes. Yeah. Can we end it here? Mr. Moderator, and then we can have a discussion when we go. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope people are already signing up to the IRPC. Okay, good. You'll be approved.
Okay, thank you so much, Lawyer Jake, for that insight. We are much grateful. So please, we have snack break now. Yeah, we will still have the snack at our usual venue. That is the first floor. So please, let's quickly grab something. In the next 10 minutes, we should be back here. Thank you so much.